Hi there, welcome to Floating in Dreams. Today we're going to be ranking all of my rosy mauve toned eyeshadow palettes. Welcome to everybody watching today. Thank you so very much for joining me. In this monthly series, I like to come on here and rank some of the color stories that I have in my eyeshadow palette collection. I started off the year with like greens, and I did purples and blues, and I've done taupe eyeshadow palettes. Like, I'm just slowly making my way through. And a couple of years ago, if I did a rosy mauve tone ranking, I had over 50 palettes. Now, I haven't selected everything to be featured here that could potentially be a rosy mauve tone. I've decided to not include any of my more pink leaning palettes in this video today. Instead, I'm really going to focus it on the 12 that I really feel embody the rosy mauve tone vibe. Some of these will have been discontinued. Some of these are no longer in their original color stories. I just want to put it out there. I try to make my eyeshadow palette collection and my makeup work for me and not what is aesthetically pleasing for the internet. So that may definitely be a thing here. So let's get to ranking these 12 rosy mauve toned eyeshadow palettes. And because it's discontinued, even though it's a really good palette, I'm gonna have to rank the She's in Parties from Melt Cosmetics in the number 12 spot. Not because I don't like it. In previous years, this was definitely a top 5, and I think it even was my number 1 rosy mauve tone palette for such a long time. But now that I look at it again, it actually looks a little bit plum to me nowadays. Like, it has a rosiness to it, but I don't know. It's just not exactly what I'm going for when it comes to a rosy tone palette nowadays. I still love it. I keep mine around because I love the Melt formula. They have been discontinuing a lot of their original favorite palettes, but I still have all the ones that I really enjoyed because they're just good palettes in my book. And that's why the She's in Parties definitely had to be featured here today. But it's no longer the top of mind favorite when it comes to rosy mauve toned eyeshadow palettes. I've definitely tried some newer things over the years, and I now like those a little bit more than I do this one. We're staying strong on the Melt front in the number 11 spot because that one goes out to the Gemini 2. The Gemini 2 is one I played with last month, so if you have seen my eyeshadow palettes revisited video, because I do that video every month as well, where I use some older eyeshadow palettes again and do a couple of looks with them to see if I still like them. And the Gemini 2, I mean, it's still a really good palette. It's just not quite what I want from an eyeshadow palette. This wasn't something I purchased with my own money. This was gifted to me by a friend, and I'm glad I have it because I do really enjoy the quality. You have these warm rosy tones here, and then some murky green tones, which it's very Melt, very sort of on brand for them. But for me, I mean, I'm coming to you with an all shimmer look on my eyes today, and this is just not enough shimmer for me. Like, these are the only 2 shades. Wait, let me see. Yeah, it's these 2 that have shimmer, and they are very, very dark. So I would have liked there to be at least 1 or 2 lighter shimmers, and I feel that a lot of these shades are incredibly similar. Whether I use this shade or this shade, this shade or this shade on my lids, it doesn't make much of a difference. So if those, like 2 of those shades had been taken away and I would have gotten 2 shimmers instead, I would have liked this a lot better. But yeah, I'm really, really glad that I did get to try it. I do go back to this from time to time. If I want to go for that warmer rosy tone, this is what I reach for. Number 10 goes to my Sigma New Mod, and this was on my declutter pile, and then I was filming a video in April that made me go like, but wait, where's my Sigma New Mod? So when it came to the time where I had to go on and pass some products on to friends and family, I decided to pull this one because then like pretty much everything I own and that I put in the declutter like sort of slips through my fingers again. So I decided to pull this one because it is a really good one. The only reason why I don't like it enough is because this pulls really dark on me. I feel that this is a great rosy tone palette for people with medium to deep skin. If you're very fair like me, this is going to turn into a smoky eye every single time. The only reason why it doesn't look that dark is because it has this metallic reflective packaging that makes the shade look differently from what they will look like on your eyes. So this is a sort of swatcheroo palette for me. You get like a quad of slightly more neutral things, then rosy things, and these pull a little bit more plum, and then you get a brown and a gold towards the end. It's really pretty, but like I said, a little bit dark. The Sigma formula isn't my favorite. Like, I like some of the palettes, but I don't like all of them. I do think they do a couple of really good things, but they are definitely aimed at warm tone skin tones, as well as medium to deep skin tones, I find. A lot of what I've tried from Sigma has been a little bit dark for me. Number 9 is going out to the ColourPop Making Mauves. This is not the original color story. I pulled a lot of my ColourPop eyeshadow palettes apart and created new color stories for myself. I do remember that these 3 shades, the 3 shimmers in the middle, are the same shimmers that originally come in the palette, but I messed around with some of the mattes because some of them were very much in this like peachy mauve sort of realm, which I didn't need that many things of. So I definitely made it a little bit more plummy with those deeper shades at the bottom, but I think like 50% of this is still the original palette, and I still really like it till this day. I go back to it from time to time, and where I have decluttered a lot of my reorganized ColourPop eyeshadow palettes, I've never gotten rid of this one because it is such a good one. I do enjoy the ColourPop eyeshadow formula, so if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, then they do some really good color stories, especially if you want something monochromatic and you just want it to do one thing. I think ColourPop is still one of the best brands to go to for that kind of look. Number 8 is going to be by Romand. This is a K-beauty brand, in case you're unfamiliar. This is the Peony Nude Garden. And I was sort of like on the fence, like, should I put this in? But with this one in, I had 12, which is a very nice round number, so that's why I wanted to feature it here. But you get some neutrals down the bottom, and then these like rosy, very soft, sort of pinky tones, but that aren't too pink. Like, this is not going to show up on your eyes, and it's not going to look like pink like in my blouse that I'm wearing today. It's palm trees. It's sort of like Hawaii print, but subtle. I like it. I got it from Monki years ago. It's very old in my wardrobe. But yeah, this has some really beautiful things, some really stunning shimmers in here. You get a nice gradient. And these are the Better Than palettes from Romand, and those are some of my favorites that they do. They do some really lovely things in this line. I have the warm toned one. I have the all matte cool toned one. I have a more plummy toned one. And there's another one coming up in a second because I really enjoy these. It's just that the color story has to be right for me, and not all of them feature as many shimmers as I would prefer usually. But this is a really good one. It's really soft though, so unless you have very fair skin, I don't think you're gonna like it. So that's why this is also ranked a little bit lower, but you can see that I have plenty of other options in this video. If you do want to go for something deeper, then there's offerings like that as well. This is just for the ultra fair skinned, I'm not entirely sure. All the makeup is always making it look like I've got a black eye, people. If you want something that's going to look soft and natural, if you have very fair skin, then definitely check out K-beauty brands because they nail it every single time. Number 7 is this big guy, the Pat McGrath Utopian Dream Mothership 9. I haven't tried any of the newer ones. This is the last one I got from the brand, or was the Moonlit Seduction after this one? I don't know, but this I decided to keep over the Divine Rose 2 because I felt they were too similar. But if you want to go for that rosy toned look with some special shades in, then this may be a good option. I have heard, though, that Pat McGrath has moved on to something else now. She's no longer the creative director of the brand that holds her name. She's moved on to another high-end brand, I believe. So I also have heard that the formula of these palettes is going to change or has already changed. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I'm glad with the 3 Pat McGrath palettes I have. And the Utopian Dream, like, this is such a good, like, spring, summer, sort of like softer, rosy tone. I know this looks very peach on camera, but on me, it has a lot more pink on it. And then you also have these, like, dustier rose shades in here. And also here you get that rosy tone shimmer. This is actually a multi-chrome. It's like a pink to gold to green. Really pretty. And in here, you also get this like pink to white to green sort of shifting shade. It has so much going for it, and I really enjoy that pop of purple that it has. This is lovely, and it's very much worth the money. I do think the Pat McGrath eyeshadow formula is one of the best ones on the market. Next up, number 6 is another very good rosy tone palette, and it is the Natasha Denona Retro palette. I put my Natasha Denona color stories back together the way they came, which I'm really happy with, and this is currently in my Shop My Stash as a palette to be going back to. So if you want to see me do a look with this, and check back around the end of June, early July, because that's when my Palettes Revisited video will be going up. Mine did have a bit of a mishap, and this shade keeps cracking. I may have to repress it at some point, because I feel I keep losing shadow, but yeah, I dropped it once, and all the shades already popped out. So when I actually had a look at the video where I featured this before I had reorganized the color stories I had from Natasha Denona, I already found out, comparing it to the pictures of what it looks like online, that I had already put it back together the wrong way after the shades fell out. So that was a nice thing. But yeah, you have these warmer rosy tones over here. Then this leans a little bit more plum, but not too much. It's not like straight up purple. And then you have these really pretty sort of like pinky, toppery sort of shades. And of course, this matte right here is my favorite in the entire palette. It's so good. Like, it's such a good crease shade if you want to go for that sort of rosy look. So this, I feel, is sort of like my updated version of the She's in Parties. I feel there are pretty similar shades in this one. The She's in Parties, though, has some deeper shimmers. I feel with Natasha Denona, what she's really good at is doing very sort of mid shade, like medium shade, intensity eyeshadow palettes. There is never a lot of contrast in them. So if you do need very deep shades to deepen things up and make things look more smoky or glam, then I'm not entirely sure whether you need to go the Natasha Denona route, but Natasha Denona eyeshadow formula is one of my favorites, which is why they are ranked in this part of the ranking. Let's get to the top 5. And that top 5, I'm not sure if there's going to be surprises here, but what was a surprise to me was how high I wanted to rank this. The Millennial Pinks. I don't think this is still available. I'm pretty sure that Melt discontinued this really quickly because not a lot of people liked it at the time. It does have some of the like weird flaky shimmers that Melt seems to do sometimes, and mine had a little bit of an accident in transit, so that's why this one looks a bit messy. But here you do get some like pinky shades, but it's these rosy tones in the middle that I'm ranking this palette for in this video. I kind of ignore these grayish blues. They are pretty and they work really well with the pink shades if you want to go for the contrast. And something that I found out is that a lot of the Melt color stories, if you have a couple of them, especially these older palettes, they kind of all interlock with each other, and there are shades that don't overlap but that really pair well with like the other half of another palette, you could say. So with this, I feel like these lock in really nicely with some of the blues in the Myrte that I also have. So that's what I kind of use these shades for, but it's great for liner or deepening up. You get like these really nice sort of pink, like this duochrome pinky, white to pink sort of shifting shade, and this very nice light baby blue shimmer that is, it's a silver, but it has a lot of blue running through it, that, especially if you pair it with the pinks, it looks a lot more blue. One of my favorite shades in the palette is this one right here. You can see I've used that quite a bit. I tend to use this mainly as my crease shade when I use it. There's a shade that's crumbling, so I need to be a little bit more careful when I'm holding it up, I think. And I tend to use this all over the lid or in the inner corner very often. And I also really like these deepening up shades right here. So that's the Melt Millennial Pinks, which is my number 5, because when I went back to it earlier this year, I went back to it for one of my spring palettes revisited. I fell in love with it a lot harder than I ever have loved this palette in the past. So Millennial Pinks is a really good one. Something a bit more affordable again is the ColourPop Pretty Please. I like this a little bit better than the Making Mauves by now. This is one I've never had to mess with because this color story just works. You get 4 shades that pull a little bit more cool toned, plummy leaning, then some warmer tones that are like that true rosy, peachy leaning shade, and then some really beautiful neutrals. This has 3 super shock shadows, so those can be prone to drying out, but mine are still fine, and I've had this for a while. And then you get a full row of like potential like crease and transition shades, 3 deepening up shades, and 3 really good mid-tone shimmers that can take this palette into so many directions. You could use each row as a look and you're done. So if you're someone who's like, I don't know how to use makeup, how do you put looks together, I don't get it, you could just go row by row and it will work what you've put on your face. This palette just spells it out for you. or you can mix and match them, of course. That's what I tend to do. You can clearly see that I like this one for the inner corner because I've been putting my stipple brush in, or my pencil brush in there. I tend to like either this or this for the crease, this for liner, and I tend to love this medium tone, like this taupey number all over the lid. So yeah, those are the things I like to reach for. And then this purple, I'm not sure what's going on there, but it's almost as if there's a silver layer underneath it. It looks a lot more obvious on camera than it does in real life. I thought that perhaps it was mold or something because there is this weird discoloration, but I think it's just how the pigment was mixed, and that's why that little fleck of silver is there. So I think it's just the way the shadow was pressed into the palette. It doesn't smell funky, it doesn't smell weird or look weird. It still swatches the same, so it's still eye safe. But I think it just has to do with how the pigment was mixed and how it was then pressed down. This is a newer palette to me. This came out this year. It's from Glam Shop, which is a Polish indie brand. And this is the Crème de la Crème. This is a beautiful palette. It is more neutral leaning, which you guys know I like. But this is really, really good. It is more fair skin friendly. People in the comments who are from Poland have told me like that's the aim of the brand as well, because in Poland there just aren't that many people with deeper skin tones. It's mainly people who are pasty pale like me, which makes then sense that a Polish brand will have a lot of palettes that I tend to like. And when this launched, I knew I had to try it because I already know I love the Glam Shop formula. They are one of my favorite European-based brands. So I knew that would, like, I knew the formula would be fun. But then also playing around with it, it's so, so good. The rosy tones, I'm kind of cheating with this one because we get two of them here, and then we sort of have like two of them here, and then this pulls a little bit rosy. But other than that, we get some taupe things in here. You get the black to deepen things up. You have this beautiful, really deep shimmer as well. And I just love how versatile this is. It can go super light and neutral, or you can pull in some of the rosy tone things and have a little bit more interest in your look. It has a silver, it has amazing shimmers that are like, I would like to describe it as a metallic satin. So the way they apply is like a satin shade, but then they do have a little bit more shine and interest, but nothing here is sparkly or really difficult to pick up. It's a very smooth formula all around, and I just really love this. I did 3 looks with it, I think in April. I can link you to that review video in case you want to see me do the looks with this and see all the swatches because I love it. I have reviews up for all of these palettes, by the way, in case you're wondering. You can just browse it on the channel in case you were looking for anything in particular. And then, of course, number 2. Where would we be without the Romand Dreamy Lilac Garden? This isn't lilac. I feel this fits the rosy bill a bit better even than the Peony Nude Garden because this definitely has, like, especially these shades, I feel, these warmer tones it has that really rosy tone quality, but you also get some like cooler things that pull a little bit more plum. It goes super light. It goes a little bit darker. There's a little bit more contrast in this one than the Peony Nude Garden, which is why I like it. And this one has 3 shimmers and the other one only has 2. So that's why I like this one just a little bit better. But this is the same really smooth, really easy to play with formula. This is still going to give you a very soft wash of color kind of look. Like, it's not going to give you this. That's for sure. It's not going to work like that. But I like having a mix of these things in. I like something softer that can be really, really easy to put on. And that's one of the things I love about these K-Beauty palettes. I know a lot of people like them, dislike them for that reason, because they only want this. Like, but that's boring, because this is really easy to do in terms of makeup. Getting a formula to where you can blend it, build it up in intensity, but still have it look very soft and natural on the face. That's why I like K-Beauty, and that's why, if that's what you're looking for, if you're looking for something really quick and easy, then definitely check out these little Romand palettes. I now see that my M is starting to fade from how much I've used it. It's an excellent palette. I need to select this one again to be playing around with in the future. And something I've just played around with as well was this guy, the Huda Beauty Rose Quartz, which came back. it came back in stock. I think it was out of stock for like a year and a half. I thought it was discontinued. Apparently it wasn't. So the Rose Quartz from Huda Beauty, in case you're unfamiliar, looks like this. And yes, she's in the #1 spot. Maybe because I played around with it again. That could very well be. And while this has pink tones, like you get these straight up pinks here, it's this area that I like the most. Like this, like everything here has this mauvey, plummy, taupey, rosy sort of vibe to it. Even the warm tones don't look super orange. Everything in here has that rosy quality, even if it doesn't look like an obviously rosy tone shade in the palette, which I think is excellent. Really, really lovely formula. I enjoy this palette so, so much. Not all the shades that I would want to go for in the inner corner are necessarily in this palette, which makes me feel a little bit limited, but it has some beautiful shades. Again, something you can do a neutral look with, something you can do a rosy look with. You can make it even look a little bit more purple or pink if you'd want to. It just has so many options. And I still love this iridescent packaging as well. Excellent quality. I'm so glad this is back. So there you have it. Those were all of the rosy toned eyeshadow palettes that I wanted to rank for you today. 12 of them. Some of them I know you can no longer get, but that's life. I have my makeup collection for me and not necessarily for the internet. So yeah, do bear that in mind. But I'll have some shopping links and links to reviews in the description box in case you want to go and browse, because I'm pretty sure you might still be able to find some of these things online. And then I can at least link you to those. And like I said, I have reviews up for all of these. So make sure to have those links in the description box down as well. So thanks so much for watching today. Thumbs it up if you liked it. I have more videos coming your way because I do post 4 videos a week on this channel. So subscribe and join my little fam on here because we're having a lot of fun over here in this very unfiltered part of makeup YouTube, you could say. So join the club, and then I hope to see you again very, very soon in a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.